Okay. All right, let's go.
Hey guys, here we are. This is Başak.
Hey guys, we are here. This is Kate.
Hey Kate.
Hi, Vashak, how are you?
I'm good. Long time no see.
I
Wow, you seem
know.
very bright.
What?
You seem really bright.
Oh, well, I'm a little orange today, if anyone's looking at this. It's because I think the lighting that I have, the light bulb or I don't know what it is, but yes, I'm bright and orange today.
I love it. I feel cooler today too. Normally I have more color. So
Yes,
we're balancing each other, I feel.
I feel so too.
It's a,
I feel
it's
so
the
too.
new moon also. Yesterday was the new moon. I had
Yes,
so many vivid dreams. This is not our subject. We should talk about dream work at some point.
we should. We should. It's a fascinating thing. And also new moon, so new beginnings, new intentions, all those things. It's a good time.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
And as I say this, I just realize how grateful I am for this time that I have with you. And, you know, this new moon that allows us to start everything new again. The
Yes.
cycle of this universe is incredible. So, shall we talk about gratitude?
I think we should talk about gratitude because we said we would.
I was just trying to be clever. I guess it's not working. Um,
We should.
I
We
do
always
have a
need to try.
quote though.
What?
I
Oh,
do have a quote.
good,
Yeah.
good. You are the woman of the quotes. I love it. Bring it on, my friend. Bring it on. What is
It's
it?
a quote from Rumi. He says, wear gratitude like a cloak, and it will feed every corner of your life.
So wear gratitude like a cloak, and it will feed every corner of your life. I
Yeah,
love it. I love it.
I do too,
Um,
because it is just very comprehensive, right? It's, when you start finding reasons for gratitude, I feel that that really expands in every aspect of your life because we are not naturally doing that. We are naturally, as humans, I think, looking for what's wrong here.
Right. As you talk about it like that, I started to think about when did I sort of become aware of being grateful for things, and I and I think it's something that it is a practice. And as you do it more, you become better at it. And it sort of becomes just sort of this part of your life. But I'm trying to think back to when I was younger, it's harder, in your teens and 20s. I was thankful for things, but I don't think I really understood or, wore a cloak of gratitude. I didn't, I would maybe, put on part of the cloak for a moment and then throw it off, you know? So, so how can one cultivate and gratitude continually? And do you remember when you started to sort of feel it as a continual practice?
I do feel that yoga practice really helped me with really understand that because, gratitude shifts focus from lack of, in yoga we call dukkha,
Mhm.
to presence and to fulfillment.
Right.
That's because perspective is everything. We talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
But I feel that when I was introduced to this aspect with the gratitude meditation, I think it become really very vivid, like how many of things we need to be grateful for in life.
Right, right. Yeah, I think you're right too. I think it wasn't until I really got into yoga that I really embodied the practice and totally understood it. And I remember our teacher telling us like something bad had happened to him. I mean, I don't know what it was, like he stubbed his toe or something. And he said, but at least I didn't break my foot. I'm thankful for that. And there was just that. I was like, oh yes. So, something awful happens, but it's not as bad as it could be if you can get that attitude of being grateful. I know it's hard to be grateful for stubbing your toe or hurting your toe, but you're grateful.
But that is like almost like a bigger perception, right? Like if you can just take your maybe perception or view from what is the zoom in perspective to zoom out perspective to you look at everything a little bit more holistically. I
Yeah.
think the gratitude comes a little bit more naturally, right? In because in yogic teachings, the energy prana, we know that negative emotions deplete energy, while gratitude uplifts and balances energy.
Yeah, yeah. And that's interesting too, because then it makes sense to me that the more you practice gratitude, the more, it's almost like the more positive things happen. It's like you're
Yeah.
creating this positive environment by being, grateful. Um, I think I said to you this recently, but the mantra that I have going in my head sometimes when I'm running is gratitude is an attitude. And there's something about that which I really like, right?
I love that. I
Yeah.
mean, attitude. That's you. I know you love playing with words.
Yep.
Uh, it's interesting because I'm just thinking back. The
Mhm.
Sanskrit, Grha is a house, a home, right?
Oh,
One's own Grha. And it's kind of interesting, like how, this intelligence rises in the universe, right? Even a bit between the languages, this attitude of gratitude to live in your own home, like to
yes.
be in your own space. We talk about the concept of santosha, the contentment. So being in your own space and being grateful with where you are at in life.
Right.
Wow.
Right. And
Maybe,
that leads to contentment, you know.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to tell you this little short anecdote about a friend of mine who told me about something an older friend of hers, he's in his 80s, had said to her, and because it made me think about gratitude, because she said, he said that he only had three pleasures left in the world, or in his life. And I won't get into it too deeply. One was basically shopping at this certain place. Two, the second one was choosing what to make for dinner, and the third one was talking to a friend on the phone.
Mhm.
And my first reaction to that was like, well, at least he has three pleasures. Some people don't think they have any. But then I thought, why is he measuring his life in pleasure? There's so much that this person could be grateful for, like grateful for, this sounds silly to some people, but grateful for the breath you take with ease, grateful for,
But you're talking from a little higher yogic perception, right? Because we are pleasure seekers. All the humans are. That's what
yes,
motivates us, right? And
yes,
then you're
yes,
talking about like being grateful for your breath. I think it's a higher yogic concept.
yes, yes. But then, okay, so not your breath then, but you could be grateful for the house that you live in.
I mean, for your life, for
Um,
health.
I
Truly,
know.
health
I
is to
know.
me the top of the stage. If you don't have health, you have nothing.
Right, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I was looking at little bit doing a research on gratitude in terms of scientific explanation.
Oh,
And there's this whole
interesting.
explanation, the studies showing that practicing gratitude activates brain regions like prefrontal cortex and anterior cingulate cortex, which are associated with emotional regulation, moral reasoning, and empathy. So, it says that regular gratitude practice can rewire neural pathways, a concept as known as neuroplasticity.
Oh,
So
right.
that makes the brain more attuned to positive experiences over time. So that's so like you said before, this is kind of explaining what you said in
Yeah.
a
Scientific.
scientific way.
Yeah,
Practice
right.
really makes it habitual or makes it more like bringing your mind easily into things that gives you more I think comfort or pleasure again, but
Pleasure.
higher pleasure maybe.
So my question though to you is that because I've heard sort of that scientific explanation, and I'm not a scientist, none of us are, but well, some people are, but we're not. That just meditation does that. But you're saying this was like if you meditate on gratitude or you just practice gratitude, that fires up those parts of the brain. So it's not just
Exactly.
meditation. Is that what you're saying?
it's not just meditation, but even like if you do yoga practice, let's say as an asana practice, right?
Yeah.
Movement.
Yeah.
What happens in that? It can become a meditation, movement meditation, right? You don't
Right.
have to just sit still to meditate. You can
Right.
meditate while you're walking or while you are practicing yoga. What is meditation? Bringing the mind into a one point of
Focus.
focus
Yeah.
from all the crazy things happening in the mind constantly.
Right.
And what we say in yoga is when you bring the mind to that one pointed focus, we want that focus to be something uplifting,
Ah,
right? Not downgrading.
right. So you're saying if you bring that focus into gratitude, then you're meditating on gratitude and it's uplifting and it's a positive thing and it
And
fires.
even
Yeah.
science is saying that consistent practice transforms the mind.
Right. I know. So this is very interesting because people at some point, I don't know when this changed, but they used to think that the brain, once you're at a certain age, it doesn't change, right? And now they're saying the brain is continually changing, right?
Yes,
Yeah, which is pretty
that's
interesting.
so cool. That's
I
really
know.
cool.
It is
And
cool.
that's why the pranayama, especially I think pranayama techniques, along with meditation, because first of all, they activate the parasympathetic nervous system, right? And the
Yes.
body's stress response calms down.
Right.
And the scientific research says that gratitude practices have similar aspects. They reduce the cortisol, the stress hormone,
Right.
and that already, creates this calming effect,
Right.
and it just basically lowers the anxiety.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Can I just jump in? Because I was thinking something that you said, I forget which conversation it was, but about when you're driving and you get irritated people and you shout out, I love you. So I started doing that. And I actually feel like the stress of me getting angry, like actually those words are nicer words. And even if I yell them, it makes me
yeah,
laugh, you know what I mean? Because you realize how stupid you are being about yelling at someone in a car. And so it's
I
amazing.
totally agree with
Yeah.
all of that. Um, because and in yoga always teaching us how to transform something that's perceived as suffering or negative
Hmm.
to transform to a right attitude or right motivation.
Yep.
So that also changes our experience in life. I feel like experience of how we deal with other people, focusing on all the parts that we are separating from each other versus how we can get together,
Yes.
right?
Oh,
Like it's interesting for me that in our last retreat, there is a person who politically in a completely opposite side of the spectrum. You know who I'm talking about.
I do indeed.
And it's amazing. And I even thought about this and discussed this with someone. We connect with him in the retreats in such a deep, like a human level, emotional level that has a shared language between us,
Mhm.
regardless of how he feels about his political views are, which is completely opposite.
Yes.
So it is possible, in other words, whatever your belief systems are, whatever you listen to, there's
Right.
a shared humanness
Yeah.
that we can connect each other and we can be grateful for that.
Yes. Yeah.
Rather than constantly pushing each other and going for what is comfortable, what is safe. Can we maybe someday, maybe not today, but maybe someday also be able to talk about things without really getting so defensive and offensive with each other?
I know. That is a very difficult thing, and I feel like I monitor myself all the time because I sometimes feel that I probably come off defensive about things when I don't mean to be even, and it's sort of I feel it's a very, very difficult thing. But I think gratitude, it helps you. But I think also something that you've talked a lot about in the past, sort of in our past conversations, is taking that breath, taking that space. So taking the time to say, okay, is this a moment? What is this moment for? How should I react? And sometimes you
Yeah,
don't have a lot of time to react, but the more you practice it, the more it becomes just innate that you don't react immediately, even if it's a a split second, you have a moment to decide how you're going to react, you know?
But I feel that that's also completely made up, right? When we think that we don't have time,
Hmm.
because time is, as we know, relative.
Yes,
And,
true,
we are maybe creating that idea too, that there is no time. Maybe there is plenty of time,
true, very
right?
true.
Depending on how you live your life.
Yeah.
But I think what is difficult is practicing gratitude in pain, right? When you have a physical pain or when you have a really deep emotional suffering, how do you practice gratitude?
Right, right. Yes, that's a very good question. So if you are mourning someone's passing or things are going badly for you at work or anything like how do you focus on gratitude? Like that is very, very hard. I mean,
It's
and that's
interesting though,
yeah,
like, when you know that my aunt passed away recently, and
yes.
I feel so much peace around that because like you said, her children have been like dealing with that so beautifully, so inspiring, that they focus on all the beauty of her existence.
Mhm.
What kind of person she was, and how she left this world, in such a beautiful, peaceful way.
Mhm.
And she was an example to them, taught them a lot of things. And, you know, when you focus on that, it's just even death doesn't seem as painful because it's part of life. We talked with Sally about that, right?
Yes.
We don't talk about that, but it is part of life. So can I find even gratitude in that?
Yeah. 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 I don't know. I'm just trying to think of a time that was a dark time in my life, you know. I mean, it's different now because I think I've thought through these things so much more, but there's sure to be more dark times coming because that's part of life too. So hopefully I can um, react in a way with gratitude. But I'm trying to think back times did I have gratitude when I was really down, you know? Um,
Or maybe eventually you
yeah.
found the way because we are also resilient as human beings, right?
Yes.
We will find ways to cope. We have a
Yes.
coping mechanism too.
Right. Right. And
So
and
I'm
maybe
sure that,
sorry. Go ahead.
yeah,
Go ahead.
continue. Yeah.
I was going to say that so maybe, so may I was sort of, getting down on this person for having only three pleasures, but in some ways, at least he's finding a pleasure and being grateful for that pleasure, and,
Yeah.
you know,
And
yeah.
in terms of yoga therapy, also, we are both yoga therapists.
Mm.
We understand that both yoga and gratitude reduces the inflammatory markers,
Yep.
and they are linked to chronic diseases. So, from a yogic perspective, this supports the body-mind balance and longevity for us.
Absolutely.
Right? So,
Yep.
that's really important too, because I've seen this happen in yoga circles, that there is this like, emphasis on gratitude, which feels like, completely lets go of all the little minute details of whatever is happening around you, because there's a higher intention that we create, right?
Mhm.
I think that's really, beautiful that the practice, daily practice, not just reduce some of the physical symptoms, but also create an overall well-being feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because whatever you focus on, you become. If you focus on what is wrong and what's not working, and I'm in pain, that's going to be your experience. But if you focus on, what is great for me, what is working for me, then that's going to be your experience. So why not do that?
Right. Okay, so then I just have to dive into that a little bit because there's also that other thing about like if you do have pain, there's that thing that we say as therapists that you sometimes want to move into it, you know? So
Yeah,
so how does
interesting.
that yeah, right, right. So
But
how
then moving into it doesn't mean just create more story about it to get attached to it, right? Moving into it means to release that suffering and transform that suffering, right?
yes.
Like acknowledge it, and then how can I transform it?
Yep. Yep.
And that really is, I think, another probably effect of gratitude to lower the depression. And I'm not a doctor again, and I don't want to make a statement like that, obviously. But I feel that the gratitude brings up more contentment,
Yes.
and that might help with these negative feelings.
Right. And I think I remember just when I started sort of playing with gratitude, like, just going to work on the subway and I would be like, well, I'm really thankful that like the subway's packed with people everywhere, I said, but I had my lovely cup of coffee, which I was so excited about. I said, well, at least I have my cup of coffee, and then when I
Because
spilled
you
my
think
cup of
that's the,
coffee, I was like,
but
well, at least I have money to get another cup of coffee.
right, but what you said before, love, right?
Yes.
Gratitude boosts also the oxytocin, which is the love hormone. So
Yes.
it really expands trust and connection in relationships. When you are grateful for your partner, for all the things that she does right
Mhm.
versus everything that they are doing wrong,
Which is a lot.
which is so easy to connect to. Um, I mean, that really changes the dynamic of the relationship, don't you think?
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, absolutely. And I do try when I get irritated with my partner
Somebody.
that I try to remember, this is just a small blip and there's all these other things, so why focus on that and why get attached to that? Because there's ego getting attached to that because then it's like
Of
I'm so
course.
much better or I would do it differently or and then I'm like, so it's interesting about the ego getting involved
And
with it.
also, what else they are putting up with you?
I
All the
know.
things that they put up about you, right?
Yes.
I mean, I sometimes think about that when I get into my judgmental mind, then I say to myself, well, I am not that easy either. I do this, and that also. It's not easy to handle,
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that's great that they can take care of me in that way. So I should also be tolerant in this way.
Yeah, yeah. Gosh, it's exhausting, Bashak.
This is so much work, always. But we love it. That's why we do it.
I know, I know. It feels so good. I actually went to, I do my own practice. I try to, and I do online practice. But I went to a class here in Connecticut, and it was just. I was saying to my husband who plays golf, I was like, it was so nice to be back in a room with a group of people that I don't even know, but we're all doing the same thing, and it all makes us feel good. And I said, I understand when you like to go play golf because it's your people. You're going
Yeah,
to, share the space and it's just such a wonderful practice, and it's come so far in just our lifetime of practicing. From so much more philosophy is discussed, even in this sort of just very hot power
great.
class. Yeah, I
Oh,
know, I know. It
amazing.
was wonderful. It just made me very
And again, you
inspired.
bring up the idea of community, how important that is to have connections, have friends,
Yep.
right?
And it
That's
reminds you.
something that, yeah, to be
It,
grateful for also.
absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
So we talk about health, to be grateful for wealth, whatever we own. We think we own, we are temporary caretakers of everything. We don't own it.
Absolutely.
But whatever
Yes.
we are given in this lifetime,
Yes.
our friendships, relationships, our people that surround us,
Hmm.
how grateful we are. Our teachers, right? Our
Just, yep.
spiritual teachers,
Hmm.
our whoever taught us anything in life.
Yep.
A friend, a colleague, or a neighbor, or like whoever that
Hmm.
you meet on the subway that teaches you something.
Yep.
And I think that um, probably difficult people are our biggest teachers, right? We learn how not to be. Yeah, I mean, but again,
100%.
changes the perception from the, this person is whatever, not my person, to like, wow, this person is my teacher.
Yeah, yeah, that's a hard one, but it's true. It's a very hard one. And
Practice.
grateful for the planet, the
Oh my
trees. I
God.
mean, there's so much to be
Animals,
grateful. The
the plants.
animals. I
Yeah.
know. I know.
I mean, when I look around and I see that all the nature that I used to see where I am at now is being now cut down and new buildings are put up
Yeah.
just for people's pleasure, it's just so sad because all these wild animals, wild hogs we have here, that
Hmm.
comes down from the, mountains now to just feed from the garbages. And it's just
Yeah.
so heartbreaking to watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And really you want to do something about that. And it's really, really sad that the humans are really most dangerous animals. That's true.
I know what we've done to the planet, but
But
that's
I'm grateful for this planet is resilient. This planet has been here before we've been here, and they are going to rejuvenate and renovate and wipe us out probably, and then
right, start all
come
over
back again
again.
because this Earth planet is much stronger than
Yep.
ours,
Yeah.
thankfully.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm
All right.
going into like other stuff.
Okay.
Do
Should
you have
we?
an homework?
I don't, yes, let's see. Well, gosh, I don't know what my homework. Can you go first? Do you have
Oh my
something?
God. How
Yes.
about gratitude meditation every day?
Good idea. Like do a gratitude meditation for like 2 weeks and see what happens.
Yeah, every morning, wake up and just list in your mind as you inhale, I am grateful for my, as you exhale, say one of the things you're grateful for. It could be like every part of your body, your organs that are functioning, your systems. Start with your body and then expand, right?
I love that. I think we should even do it. Yeah, I think that's lovely. I think that's a great idea. I think I will do that. Can that be my own work? I don't have to think
Yes, and
of
let's
something.
do it like next, until at least from now to next week so we can share our experiences.
Okay, perfect. I
Okay.
love it.
And
Yes.
then I feel that journaling, right? That's a
Yes.
big one, I think, where we can really journal about what was I grateful, like we can start with in the morning, gratefulness and meditation, and then in the evening, what happened today that I'm grateful for?
Yeah. Yep.
What is, coming to my awareness that made me feel grateful?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I like doing it in the evening to look back on your day. You know,
Right.
yeah, sort of
We
make a
do this
list.
practice for those who are familiar. We call it Krishna Kriya.
Yes.
We revisit our day hour by hour, and we
Going
just review,
backwards
go
from the
back,
time you get into bed, going backwards.
and
It's a,
then we can just maybe notice all the things that worked in our favor we are grateful for.
I love that. Although the trouble is, usually fall asleep after I get to hour
I
three.
know, but I think it's fine to fall asleep. You continue in your dreams.
Okay, good. All right, so maybe our next discussion is about dreams because there's a lot of dream stuff going on these days, which would
Ooh,
be kind of
okay,
fun. Yeah.
okay,
All right. Well,
let's do
I
it.
am so grateful for your friendship and all I've learned from you, my dear friend Bashak. So thank you.
Ditto,
Okay, ditto.
completely.
All
Same
right.
here. I'm so grateful for this podcast and for our listeners and for our teachers mostly.
Yes, and all the people who have come and shared their stories with us so far. And we hope we have more to come to listen to.
Yes. Thank you
All right.
so much.
Thank you, my friend. Let's get some music and dance our
Okay.
way gratefully onto the rest of our day.
Bye, Kate.
Bye, Bashak. See you next week.
See you next week.